As a part of our diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging work within the athletics department, athletics, along with the Division of Academic Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion and the NIU Foundation, helped bring 8 student athletes to Boston as a part of an experiential learning project. Essentially, we brought 8 student athletes from different teams the day prior to the football game to be able to see the Museum of African American History and the Black Freedom Trail. As a part of this unique transformational trip, one of the things that we tried to incorporate is community. Our student athletes didn't know each other initially, and we also had the ability to have President Freeman and her husband join us. So as we were able to tour the Museum of African American History and walk the Black Freedom Trail, we got to know one another. We got to talk about our experiences while we were learning about American history in the process.
This experience is one that I believe all student athletes would really enjoy, in the sense of not only do you build community within the athletic department of meeting people that you normally don't have the opportunity to talk to. These were some incredible people that I now have really great friendships with, and I can relate to other teams.
Because we were able to go on a trip with people that we were not familiar with before and bond over a topic that can be hard for a lot of people to bond over based on where they're from or what they've grown up believing. And I'm just very proud of everyone in this group for being able to throw to the side whatever they thought before and just be able to come together as one unit and learn and become educated on such a topic.
I think it will be a good learning experience for student athletes here on campus to get a kind of feel for different cultures and different histories. I think would be really cool.
Personally, I thought it was probably one of the best experiences I've had here at NIU. And it's not even just because of the cultural education that you get from it, it's also from the camaraderie and the connections you make with people from other teams.
After the trip and meeting some of these other student athletes, it allowed me to just want to open up more and talk to more student athletes. So after the trip, I go in the training room and I speak to other student athletes and I ask them how they're doing, I see how their day is going.
I think they will enjoy the cultural experience by just going to new places, experiencing new things, learning different perspectives, talking to different student athletes. I had no idea what they were going through with their sports, how we all opened up to each other, how we all clicked well with each other. So just going to new places and being open to networking with different people.
And also have like a cool sense of a city or maybe like an area you've never even been before. Because I know me myself, I never really went to Boston before. So going there was really like a 2-in-1. I got to see an amazing city and I also got to learn some historical facts that I really didn't know ever before.
Going to Boston has extremely altered my experience because not only have I gotten to know fellow student athletes better, but I also got to learn more about the history of the United States, which I wasn't aware of before being an international student.
For me, it was the African Meeting House. I thought it was so cool how a lot of popular leaders that we've heard about before, like Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, met in that same place. I thought that was very powerful.
When we went by Frederick Douglass's apartment, what really stood out to me was when our tour guide told us how many years it took for him to push out his narrative to get what he envisioned our country to be. And he was just a stepping stone in what we are still continuing fighting today.
I saw the Liberator, which was a journal made by freed slaves to really share a variety of opinions and really united the community. And with doing that, I think communication can be increased among different minoritized communities, not only within athletics, but within our society as a whole.
In the Freedom House, just how they were able to open up their voices and just let themselves be heard with no worry about being put down for what they were thinking. That's just some piece of information that is always going to stick with me because I feel like that's something that has been lost along the years of our nation.
So at the African American Meeting House, it was extremely impactful just to see how they met in such a small area and just really just grew into a community with what they had, from a church being on top, from a school being at the bottom, people living in the same area. They could not go anywhere. So to me, that was extremely impactful.
Before the trip, I never really knew what the Underground Railroad was. And I kind of thought that it was an actual Underground Railroad, to be honest. And just being there and experiencing it, it made me not feel what they felt, but it made me have a better understanding of what they had to go through, the anxiety, the fear, uncertainty of what was going to happen, and just being there and just taking everything in, it was a very cool experience.
Learning about how all of these people escaped from slavery through the Underground Railroad and then immediately went back and became a part of the Underground Railroad, helping other slaves escape from the South. I thought that was a really powerful part of the Freedom Trail, and that's what stuck with me the most.
And for myself as a student athlete, in my experience, it's going to forever change how I view different things in my life and how things approach me, or how I approach different things, and how I will never take for granted anything that has been given to me.
The special part of this trip is the fact that it was a transformational learning experience. Being able to incorporate sport along with education provides a unique student-athlete experience that we would like all of our student-athletes to be able to enjoy during their time here at NIU.